My name is Ram Gomez. I'm the mayor of Aransas Pass, and I want to welcome everybody for being here tonight. And this coming Friday marks the 4th week after Hurricane Harvey, and after all the devastation that's behind, we've done a lot of hard work, and the town has kept coming back up with the help of everybody. And I just want to thank God for giving us the ability and the potential and the wisdom and everything that we needed to be able to accomplish this. And now I want to introduce Judge Terry Simpson.
I just want to say a few things. FEMA is here. They're going to take the information, and they're going to tell you what they can and can't do. There's no miracles here tonight. We're just here to try to start the process of helping you get to where you need to be, helping you to start that process of coming back. As you can see, the city here is already in that process. All the lines that were down in the middle of the street, they're back up. Most people have electricity now. The government buildings are back in business. And so we're on the road to recovery. We just need to keep a positive outlook. If some of you were here during Cia or during Fern or these other hurricanes that have come through here, you know, we've had to rebuild several times. We will again. And so we're here to help you. My office is at the courthouse. Anytime you need to talk to me, come on up. I'm usually there. If I'm not, they'll tell you where I'm at so you can find me. Again, I appreciate you being here. This is an informative tonight. Take advantage of all the information they have to tell you, okay? And if you have questions, don't be embarrassed to ask them. There's no dumb question. Every question you have is important to you if nobody else, and somebody else may have the same question, okay? Any questions of me before I turn it over to your Congressman Blake Farrington? Blake?
Thanks, Judge Simpson, Mayor. Got several city council members and other elected officials here, especially Jan, who let us use this facility tonight. I'm here because we've getting a lot of questions about what's going on and what the federal government can and can't do. The way the disaster system works in this country is the first line of responders are your local officials, your mayors and county judges. They move up and work with the state of Texas and Governor Abbott and his emergency coordinators, and then finally it makes its way up to FEMA. We rely on the local folks because they know the area a whole lot better than these FEMA folks do. We've got a whole team of FEMA folks, and I'll bet you might only have a couple from Texas over there. They travel the nation helping people out, and so we're relying on the local folks as well. I've also got to tell you, FEMA is not the answer to everything. Their job simply is to make sure that you're safe and secure and help you transition. The federal government is not a replacement for having insurance. They're not going to be able to rebuild your home, but they're going to help you get back on your feet to where you can start rebuilding your home, where you can get into your home. We've also got folks from the SBA, the Small Business Administration. You might ask, why is the SBA here? Well, the Small Business Administration has the ability to make low interest loans to individuals to help cover things that insurance doesn't cover. If you're like me and you pick that 4% of the value deductible on your home for your windstorm insurance, that deductible looks awful high right now. So perhaps a SBA loan might be a way to help you over that hump. So we've got the folks here to answer your questions and help you out. I want to tell you that my office is also here to help. I want to introduce a couple of folks from my office that you probably need to know. Luis, could you come up here? This is Luis Bunteo. Luis's job is to be my eyes and ears when I'm in Washington. Even though we've had a horrible tragedy down here things go on in Washington. One of the things that I had to quickly go back to Washington to do was come up with supplemental funding for FEMA so they didn't run out of money, so they could continue to be there and help. And we promptly got that through the House, Senate, and signed by the President. We also have Nicole Beamer here somewhere. Nicole, where are you? There's Nicole. Some of you have probably talked to Nicole. She is my head red tape cutter in the Corpus Christi office. Her job is, if you're having problems dealing with any part of the government, Nicole is the one to help. If you feel like these guys for FEMA haven't treated you fairly, which I'm sure they're going to do their best to do, but if something doesn't work out, talk to Nicole. She'll talk to them. She'll talk to me. We can't get them to do anything the law doesn't let them do, but we can make sure that you certainly get heard and get all that you're entitled to. And finally, in the back taking pictures is J.D. Kennedy. He's my district director here. He's also helping be my eyes and ears. So. You didn't come to listen to a political speech from me, but I did want to let you know who I had working for you and what we were doing on the ground. You came here to hear from the folks from FEMA and the SBA about what they can and can't do and how they can help you, and have them here to answer your questions. We've got a group of folks to help you sign up if you haven't gotten access to the internet yet. The quickest way to sign up for help is a disasterassistance.gov. But as I say, not everybody has internet backup yet, so they can help you here at the table. But I'm going to bring you up Jerry Stoller. He is the district director in charge of the 6-county area that we live in. So we brought one of the top dogs from the area down here to answer your questions so you can go straight to the top. Jerry, I'm going to hand you 2 microphones here and let you start talking to these folks. All right. This one's for the video camera, right. So we're going to edit the highlights and post them. Right. Thank y'all.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Jerry Stoller, and I am the branch director working in this part of Texas, and I'm responsible for the federal recovery effort for the 6 counties in this area that have been designated for assistance. Before I tell you a little bit about the work that we're going to do and we're going to be doing for a long time, I first of all want to express on behalf of all of FEMA employees that are going to be working in Texas that how much we sympathize with what you've been through. This has been a catastrophic event, a historic event for our country, and our thoughts and prayers are with each and every one of you as you go about rebuilding your lives. Many of the people that are here to serve you actually became interested in joining FEMA because they were survivors themselves. A lot of them were survivors from Hurricane Katrina and Rita several years ago. They're from this part of the country. They started as a local hire with the agency. They fell in love with the mission. They enjoy giving back to the country, and now they're permanent employees. So I just want to tell you that we understand what you've been through. We know that this recovery is going to be long. We know that when you deal with a federal bureaucracy like what we have here, right, that you're going to have a lot of questions about some of the feedback you've already received from us. I know many of you have already received your determination letters about whether or not you're eligible, or if the letter may have said you're denied federal assistance. But I want to assure you that just because that letter says you were denied, that doesn't mean that's the end of the road. And that's why I have several members of my staff here this evening. And if you have a specific question about your application, please take this opportunity this evening to get over here and speak with one of these experts. They'll take a look at your case. And oftentimes, the reason why you were denied is because we're missing a document, a certain part of personal information about your property or your belongings. that we need to then trigger some federal help. I do want to thank Congressman Farenthold for his comments about what FEMA can and cannot do. We're not going to make you whole, but we will get you back up on your feet, okay? But make no mistake that the scale and scope of what we've experienced here in about 3.5 weeks ago is going to require a whole community effort, all right? It's going to require not only FEMA, but other federal agencies working very closely with the state of Texas and state agencies and with the local jurisdictions, with County Judge Stinson and his staff and all the mayors of the cities and communities, the council members who have been affected. We're all going to have to work together in order to see this thing through. And make no mistake, FEMA is going to be here until the job is done, okay? But it's going to take a while, and I'm sure you've heard our administrator, Mr. Brock Long, talk about that the recovery in Texas is going to last years, okay? It's going to last years. But we got to take it one step at a time. We are here. We are here in significant numbers. I can tell you, as of today, more than $42 million in individual and households program assistance has been approved for survivors just in the 6 counties in the branch that I'm responsible for. $42 million already approved, all right? So again, I know all of you, if you have individual questions, please take advantage of the staff that I have here. I do want to introduce 2 members of my staff, though, that are going to be very important to me in the days and weeks ahead. First of all, my deputy, Mr. Stephen Jelly, is sitting over here. And Mr. Tony Raines, who's going to speak to you in just a moment. Mr. Raines is an expert on our individual assistance program, and he's going to get into a little bit more detail about what eligibility means and what it takes to become make yourself available for that federal type assistance. But again, you know, I had an opportunity to meet with the county judge last week. We had a very good talk, and again, I just want to impress upon you how much we sympathize with what you're going through right now, and we know that you all are in a very difficult place, and I'm doing everything I can to get the resources I need down here to ensure that all the attention isn't on Houston and Harris County, okay? Because I've been reminded by every elected official that I've met, I've been reminded, although I didn't need to be reminded, that the eye of the storm passed right over this part of Texas, okay? Right over Rockport, went right through Refugio County. All these communities in the Rockport metropolitan area, you all were decimated. And it's my job to make sure that the state and that my leadership doesn't forget that, okay? And that's what I'm doing every day, all right? All right, so with that, I'd like to, I've been told to introduce Mr. Lynn Pierce from Aransas Pass, who's going to talk to you a little bit about what the city has been up to with this response. Thank you very much. I look forward to working with all of you. Okay.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay. Thank you all for coming out this afternoon. This disaster started local. It will finish local. We will be here throughout rebuilding. Okay. If you've ever heard me speak, I've told you before, when disaster strikes, we have to take care of our neighbors. I have to tell you, I'm very proud of the citizens of Aransas Pass. As soon as the dust settled, you were out there picking up, cleaning up, rebuilding. And that's what it takes for our community to get back on its feet.
Is he going to be Tony?
I want to
I'll get him over there. I'll get him over
our
there.
city government,
He's on the other
the mayor
side.
and the council
I know who he is.
has supported us 100%. They've given me everything I needed to have the tools to help the citizens. The city. And it's a very key part of our infrastructure. I'd also like to thank the few people that I know are here tonight. Ms. Rosemary Vegas. Rosemary handled all
Okay, look forward back. Come on over here.
My assistant, she's the one that makes sure I get all the paperwork done right. I mean, she does all the paperwork for me. Miss Sarah Lee.
Okay, there.
Thank you all. If you have questions about what the city's doing, what's available in the city, look at our city web page. Sarah keeps it up to date, keeps all the latest information. So we have a tremendous team, and this is just a few people that are a part of that, but those three have been by my side the entire time. We're all sharing one office right now so that we can all talk and coordinate and continue with the recovery around this pass. But it does depend on our citizens, and I do ask that you help your neighbors every chance you get. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to come by and see us. That's what we're there for. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Hi, my name is Tony Range. I'm the individual assistance subject matter expert that's come from Washington State to come down here and help you understand how the program works. And the reason that's important is because you're involved in the program. How many people here suffered damage as a result of Hurricane Harvey? Okay, that's all. I'm going to go with about 100%. How many have not registered for FEMA assistance? Raise your hand. Okay, if you've not registered, you answered yes to the first question. You need to answer yes to the second question. Tonight, I'd like you to go over here and register for federal assistance. If you can't do it tonight, 1-800-621-3362. If you don't have phone service, get onto the computer and go to disasterassistance.gov and register online. Any of those systems, any of those processes are ways to get registered for assistance. Now, when I came here, I said I'm an expert, and I got to tell you, everything that I've learned is people don't care what I know, you care what I can show you. Here's what I can show you tonight. As Mr. Stoller said earlier, if you have specific questions about your case, please, we brought FEMA Corps with us. They have their computers. We brought the system up online. We can get into your case and we can talk the specifics of your case. If they can't solve it, they're going to call me over. I'm going to get your name and number, and I'm going to help you solve that very specific problem that you have. So at some point, if you need to do that, please do so. Let me talk about this process a little bit, where we are in the first couple steps, because that's about where you are. And I'm not trying to ignore anyone over here. I'm trying to not get the wind blowing into the microphone. So if I look like I'm not looking at you nice people over here, it's not because I'm not looking at you. The first step, and we already heard it mentioned, when events occur is the voluntary agencies come in, right? The Red Cross was here, and a lot of different good people opened their doors and really assisted people. So the voluntary agencies help out right away. But the second thing that happens is insurance. And so if you have insurance, please apply for assistance through your insurance. But let me tell you this, even if you have insurance, please register with FEMA. And I'm going to tell you why. It's about putting everything on the table that helps you work through your recovery. So you want to put your insurance on the table. You want FEMA on the table. You want the SBA on the table, right? All those options so you can make an informed decision on how you move forward in your recovery. Because this is what you want it to look like, not what I want it to look like. So insurance, and then you registered with FEMA. Now what happens is, based on the information you provided us, the system uses business rules, and for some of you, you already got some funds. For some of you, you're still waiting for funds. It's based on what you said when you registered, such as, do you have damage? Some of you probably answered, no, I don't have damage. Well, you didn't know the answer, right? So that's a pretty good assumption, but you came back and found out, oh, I have damage. Well, what you need to do is get a hold of FEMA and let us know. Change that no to yes, so we can issue an inspection. An inspector will then come out to your property, and they're going to go through this process of looking at the damage to your home. Based on your home, then they're going to electronically submit that paperwork back to FEMA, and we will then process your case for the damages you received based on your home. Or if you have insurance, we're going to wait, because insurance takes first priority. Once the insurance pays you for whatever it's responsible for, here's what I want you to do. Take the sheet where it itemizes everything you got paid for, send it to FEMA. Because if there's something there that you were eligible for that they didn't pay you for, FEMA might pay you for those things, right? That's just more money to help in your recovery. So we've gone through insurance, you've gone through the voluntary agencies, insurance, you've registered, the inspector came out, you got some funds. Now you're going to get an SBA loan application. Some of you will. Now I'm not going to tell you about the SBA because those guys over there, they'll run on stage and tackle me and tell me to stop talking, right? So I'm going to save that for the SBA, but they're good guys and they'll talk about their program. Some things are not SBA eligible. I'll tell you what they are. How many people here may have suffered a medical injury as a result of the storm? Okay, here's a secret. If you were injured because of the storm and you don't have insurance that will pay to cover that injury, you got to let us know, because that also, you don't have to wait for the SBA to be able to have that adjudicated for you.
Can I ask a question? I got
Well, here, can I get?
I got a splinter in my eye at the site where we lost our home. I didn't know till yesterday when I went to my eye surgeon for an annual exam.
Oh, that counts, yeah.
He said that came out
Yes.
and stuff. And then this back injury happened there, and my doctor said, you've got Humana, it probably covered $114 for an eighth of an ounce.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to call 1-800-621-3362. Press 2 for the helpline. Tell them you did suffer injuries as a result of the event, right? And then you're going to go through the process to identify what they are. And we can help you out there.
Well, I know this, it's bad, I've got an 8 o'clock appointment with the dentist. Somehow that tooth got broke off in my gums, and now it's affecting my jaw. Now FEMA sent me an email saying, you need to get a whole thing about your jaw, and from a dentist stating actually what happened. It broke off this down and then it's got to be removed. So my dentist office says today, yeah, you're going to have to turn that into FEMA because I don't have dental insurance anymore.
Sure, if you turn that in there, we're going to help you take care of it.
See, I didn't believe that. What I'm saying, a lot of people don't believe what FEMA really does.
I wouldn't lie to you.
Oh, I know you, I'm talking to the population.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we'll take care of that. Turn it into FEMA, get that paperwork ready, get that dental note, and we'll take care of that. Okay?
Thank you so much.
No problem. So that's kind of how it works. I'm going to stop right there, because if I talk about the rest of the process, that'll be about 2 hours, and you look like you really want to hear from other people. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Again, if you have questions specific to your case, please talk to these folks. I will be over there to answer any questions you have or anything like that. Well, who I'd like to introduce is Bill Kuntz. He's with the SBA. We've been working together since we got here, and this guy is like an SBA wizard. So I would, if you got questions, throw them at him.
Here's that $5.
Okay, we got a microphone here. We're going to mic you up.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Bill Kuntz, and finally the SBA.
You got to.
We're at the end of the program. Thank you. Thank you for wading through all these comments and so forth. Thanks to all of our leadership that's here tonight. So the first part of the process is to register with FEMA. They may be able to help you or not, and they may see that you need more help than they can provide, and they may refer you to the Small Business Administration where I work. My name's Bill Kuntz. The Small Business Administration is a government agency like FEMA. We work hand in hand with FEMA. We actually have a computer link between the two agencies. And what the SBA can offer is low interest rate disaster loans. So yes, if you take advantage of what the SBA has, you're borrowing money from the US government. It's a direct loan from the government. The good news is we offer interest rates to people like you and me at as low as 1 3/4%. So if you have $50,000 worth of damage to your home, maybe you get $10,000 from your insurance company, maybe you get $10,000 from FEMA. You're left with $30,000 of exposure, money you need. Do you want to borrow that on your credit card? No. If you need that money, I encourage you to apply for a disaster loan with the SBA, 1 3/4% rate. The term of the loan, the payment schedule, would be either 15 years or 30 years. Here are a couple of reasons why I think this is a great idea. It doesn't cost a penny to apply with SBA. If we approve you for a disaster loan, you don't have to take it. If you apply before the deadline to apply, which is the same for SBA as for FEMA, October 24th, and SBA approves your loan request, and you say, I don't want that money, we'll give you 6 months to come back, change your mind and come back. So now you've just given yourself half a year, an option that's on the table. Access the money you need to rebuild. How much can you get? We can loan, it's the Small Business Administration, but we're going to help homeowners and renters primarily in this disaster, as well as business owners. You can borrow up to $200,000 for your primary residence repair, plus another $40,000 for your personal property. That includes a damaged car. If you are a renter, if you live in a mobile home, if you live in an apartment, you can borrow up to $40,000 for your personal property damaged by the hurricane. Again, 1 3/4%. You might say, I can't afford a loan. Perhaps that's true, but I would say it costs nothing to find out what SBA might offer, and you might be surprised at how small a payment this loan could be. The process is to register with FEMA. If FEMA recommends you talk to SBA, someone mentioned a minute ago that you'll get a loan in the mail. No, the thing you need to do after FEMA refers you to SBA is, if you're in the Disaster Recovery Center in Ingleside, walk down to the table where we're sitting. We're kind of in back as usual. And you can apply for a disaster loan on the spot. We have laptops. We'll guide you through applying right there, right then. Or you could go home tonight, if you've got access to the internet, and apply online right this minute tonight if you haven't already. You'd need to go to sba.gov. There's a banner at the top about hurricane assistance. Click that banner. It takes you to our page where you could access our online application. No cost to apply. No obligation. If you take a loan and it's a 15-year term or 30-year term, you can pay it off at any time with no prepayment penalty. SBA doesn't charge any kind of a fee for these loans. If you obtain a loan for more than $25,000 and you have a residence, we're going to ask you to let us put a lien on your property like any bank would do. Under $25,000, no lien. So it's a loan you have to qualify for. So some folks come to SBA and we can't approve their loan because they have negative credit, because they don't have enough income to support a monthly payment. So yes, some folks may be told no by SBA. Some of the people that we can't approve a loan for, we will refer back to FEMA to be considered for the last part of FEMA's grant program. So if you're thinking, I can't afford this loan, I don't want this loan, it might be worth it to apply anyway, go through the process, just so we can refer you back to FEMA to be considered for that last part of their grant program. How long does it take? So far, we've approved about $7 million in the county. So some folks have gotten an approval within a week or 2 weeks. Officially, I'll tell you, we're going to give us 4 weeks to approve your loan, but a lot of folks have already been approved for disaster loans in Texas. It's going to be faster than you think. You fill out an application. We may come to your property and inspect the damages. Your application and that report go to a loan officer up in Fort Worth, and you'll get a phone call. You could have an approval within a week or two. So if there's one thing I say tonight, pardon me? A bird. If you apply before the deadline, we can work with you for many, many months to come. The key is to apply before the deadline. So I'd love to answer some questions. Anyone?